Okay, there was another comment made by Aaron Rodgers in the post-game press conference, and it relates to the play that you saw at the top of the show. The Mike Williams coming back for the ball, it looked like an underthrown pass that was intercepted to essentially ice the game. And we know how Aaron Rodgers feels about interceptions. No quarterback likes them, but for Rodgers, his mark of all-time greatness is his touchdown to interception ratio, which has taken a hit of late. So he's not happy that this potential TD became an INT. You see Mike Williams break into the sideline and the ball's under, and he still tried to catch it, and he kind of hurt himself going down, but there's the pick. Here's Rodgers after the game on what happened on that play.
So there's two verticals, Allen's down the seam, Mike's down the red line. So I'm looking at Allen. He puts his hand up, three guys go with him, so I'm throwing a no-look to the red line. And when I just peek my eyes back there, he's running an inbreaker. So it's got to be down the red line.
So were you throwing that spot to come back to it?
No, I was throwing it to the red line, but when I got to about here, I realized he was running an inbreaker, so I had to kind of adjust it a little bit. But the play is two guys vertical, one guy down the seam, one guy on the red line.
I remember when John Gruden was doing his quarterback school first year. He was with ESPN, and that was a popular show. He's meeting with all the incoming quarterbacks. Jimmy Clausen, the Notre Dame quarterback, tried to blame Golden Tate for an interception. And Gruden said, it's always your fault. You never blame your receiver. And I think the fact that Rodgers went there, because they were talking earlier in the game, which, of course, you were calling so you didn't hear it, how Mike Williams is trying so hard to win Aaron Rodgers' trust, and it just hasn't happened yet. He dropped a pass earlier in the game. Rodgers might be done with Mike Williams after that last night. If he's going to call him out like he did, he's either going to never throw to him again, or he's going to say, trade this guy back to the Chargers.
And it's important as a player when you describe these situations. Aaron Rodgers correct on the spacing of the play and where Mike Williams needs to be. Mike Williams, he sees the jam up top and he breaks and he comes inside the corner because the corner is playing hard outside. When he does that, he needs to get back outside. And when he says the red line is about 4 to 5 yards from the sideline inside. And it creates that spacing on practice fields. Usually have that red line drawn in to get receivers used to knowing exactly where that is. And he's correct, the spacing where Mike Williams should be. But the thought of that play is he said he looked back out there and Mike was running an inbreaker. So he saw that Mike Williams ran an inbreaker and was not where he should be. So to me, you either throw the ball out to the red line where nobody was, so the pass would have been incomplete. The 2-minute warning had just sounded, so you still had 2 minutes left in this game. And you throw it out there. If Mike Williams isn't there, you get mad at him. You tell him where he should be. But this situation isn't full explanation of what he did. He saw where Mike Williams was, and he thought he could get the ball in there. That's the truth of the matter. He thought he could throw it in there. He couldn't. He could have threw the ball back out to the red line. Mike Williams looked like he was headed that way. And honestly, he probably would have had a shot to catch it outside. Nonetheless, he doesn't do that. Taron Johnson makes a really nice play to get his hands under the ball. But when you look back at that play, if he looks out there and he doesn't like where Mike Williams was, he could have checked the ball down to Breece Hall, who was 5 yards away from him, and no Bills defender in sight within about 10 to 12 yards. So throwing the ball to Breece Hall in space against the Buffalo Bills defense seems like a pretty good play for the Jets. So I understand where Mike Williams should be. Totally disagree with putting the blame on him on the interception, because ultimately Aaron Rodgers is the one who decided to throw that ball and put the ball in harm's way when they were driving with a chance to win the game.
So to take the John Gruden advice to Jimmy Clausen next level, not only do you take the blame when it's not your fault, you probably should take the blame when it is your fault. And I wonder, Devin, on a night like that, we haven't even talked about the Hail Mary yet. They end the first half with the latest in a growing line of Hail Mary throws by Aaron Rodgers in his career. He had that keyhole throw to Allen Lazard where it's like, how did he even how did the ball even fit? It was like an optical illusion. Do you get confident to the point of delusional that you can do whatever you want, however you want? I'm trying to understand why he would pull the trigger on that throw, because he's been doing this long enough to know exactly what you said and what he should have done. Is he just thinking, screw it, I'm on tonight. I'm letting it fly because I hit a Hail Mary, I hit this other pass. I'm feeling like old Aaron Rodgers, not old Aaron Rodgers, but former Aaron Rodgers. I'm feeling like him tonight, so I'm just going to throw caution to the wind.
Yeah, it's so tough because the great quarterbacks, especially these ones who have, special arm talent, and it was on display last night with Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. We used to explain it sometimes in our meeting room is there's no throw that this quarterback doesn't like. They just have the ultimate confidence and belief in their arms that they can fire a ball in there. And I think for Aaron Rodgers, it's just a natural reaction. He sees Lazard running down the middle, so he's like, hey, I can make this throw back outside. But as we watch this unbelievable Hail Mary, and you see on that throw, Aaron Rodgers was able to move up in the pocket, take a step and launch the ball. I thought on the other throw to Mike Williams, he was kind of that balanced set that he loves to throw the ball, and usually he is able to throw it, but he couldn't get enough on it to get it back outside, whereas this throw, he was able to do it. And to me, the coolest thing about this throw is they line up for 8 seconds left. I'm talking about how the Bills were able to get points on the board, score, and now they can get a stop defensively and get the ball back in the second half. And then, as I'm saying, I remind myself and say it on the broadcast but we cannot forget, because Aaron Rodgers has some unbelievable moments with Hail Marys, and we saw it right there. Unbelievable moment as he launches the Hail Mary, but the guy still has a special arm, and we're reminded each time we watch him because he throws a throw where we're like, there's only a few guys that can make that throw in the game today. And 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, he's still one of those guys.
And that 52-yard throw, there's the one we were talking about earlier, the throw to Alan Lazard, where, what in the world? Like, I still don't understand how the ball made it through. And there's a confidence to the way he throws the ball. And it's almost like the moment it leaves his hand, the way it jumps off his hand, it's going to end up exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah, you talk about a back shoulder. That throw to Lazard, that was a back thigh. He's running down the field, and if he throws a back shoulder, the defender naturally is probably going to put his hands up in the air, because we as defenders, you practice the back shoulder, but you don't practice a guy fading backwards and the ball, legit hit him right on where your thigh pad is supposed to be. So, Aaron Rodgers, you talk about sitting behind a line of scrimmage, behind offensive linemen, as defensive linemen are coming and they're ready to pounce on you and hit you, and he did get hit on that play. To know exactly where you want to throw a football about 20 to 30 yards down the field and put it exactly where you thought you wanted to put it, it's unbelievable, and we've seen him do that so many times that we kind of forget how hard and complicated that is, because he does it effortlessly. And a lot of times it's not in the best situation. His feet aren't where you want it to be. All of these little things that I'm sure we always hear in the screening room between Jason Garrett and Chris Sims of where you want to be as a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers can do that out of any position, and it's still phenomenal to watch, especially in person.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.